Hey, welcome to Do Stuff Outdoors. Today, tomorrow, and the next day, weather permitting, we're going to be hiking through the Shining Rock Wilderness and Pisgah National Forest. Ready? Let's go. We're starting out on the Ivestor Gap Trail, headed up toward Shining Rock for the night. And Ivestor Gap Trail is about 3.8 miles, if memory serves. The terrain is between, I think, 5,400 and 5,800 feet, give or take. And it gets its name from the Ivestor family back in the late 19th, early 20th centuries. Existing records aren't terribly complete, but they were known for being loggers and road builders and farmers in this region. This trail gets its name from them, and this road here that we're on, it's a trail, but it does look like a road. It's like a lot of the trails in this region, probably the modern remnants of old Cherokee footpaths from before the arrival of Europeans to this region, and then would have likely been used as drover routes for livestock until ultimately becoming part of that logging network. Like I said, it's about 3.8 miles total. We'll be on it for a good while. We got a little bit of a late start today. Part of that's also because to get here from where we started out, we've got to cross sections of road that are still recovering from the impact of Helene last year, so that slows things down a little bit too. We're fresh tonight. Hopefully we can make up the next, it's about a little less than 5 miles on this first leg. Ivestor Trail and the Art Loeb Trail are gonna kind of share the road for a little bit over the course of the next, well, however long it takes us to get toward, I think it's Old Butt Knob Trail, which is a great name. We'll be kind of leapfrogging from Ivestor to Art Loeb and back a little bit, but we're largely going to stay on Ivestor until we hit the next trail. So this junction here puts us in a bit of a bald with some pretty great views, even though it's cloudy today, or well, tonight maybe, I don't know. It's you still can see quite a ways. Let me turn around here. You almost, yeah, you can see clouds forming. We came through some storms on the way up here, and there are others that are threatening, but they actually seem to have quieted down, so maybe they'll hold off. So now we are technically entering the Shining Rock Wilderness, still within Pisgah National Forest. Let me see if I can get this sign. Anyway, so yeah, we just got a little bit more to, well, maybe a little more than a little bit. Let me see how far we've gone. Yeah, we still got a ways to go, maybe another couple of miles before we hit Shining Rock. So we actually headed down the wrong trail briefly, because the trail that we actually need is really more of, well, what Chip called a pig trail. It certainly looks like a wild hog or something might use it, and not much else. It's very overgrown, hard, easy to miss, but we're on it, so that's good, I guess. One of the nice things about Ivestor Gap Trail is that there are a lot of little places to get a peek over the valley at the ridges beyond. We've entered a little bit of a section that gives a kind of like a Brothers Grimm villain forest kind of vibe. It's dark, trees are kind of scraggly. It's also kind of awesome though. We've come up off the Ivestor Gap Trail, and now to get to Shining Rock, we're going to turn left and take Old Butt Knob Trail. Now it sounds like it was named by a middle schooler, but you know, you think of words like buttress or butte, and it just, that's the etymology just from a Scots-Irish usage. Has nothing to do with hinder parts. Anyway, we are gonna see what we can find for campsites, see about getting some supper. We just came off this slightly open spot. You can kind of see that light in the center of the screen here. And we just entered what might be considered a rhododendron hell. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Either way, it gets dense and dark quickly through here. It's kind of neat though. Let's see how long it goes, see if it works like a tunnel coming out the other side. You may not be able to see much of anything. I'll try to crank the exposure, which is probably going to introduce a lot of extra noise. Okay, we're on our way up, but as you can see right there, I think we've got our first decent-sized quartzite boulder. That's the type of material that gives Shining Rock its name. Even in this you know, kind of dark section of the woods here. That rock almost has a little bit of a glow to it. It's just how it seems to be taking what little light does hit it and bounce it around just below the surface, it seems. And yeah, it suddenly got steeper. It had been relatively flat. It felt like, anyway, at least the incline was gradual enough that you didn't feel it until just now where it pitched up. I mean, it wasn't a long ways, but it was enough to start getting the heart pumping again. Yeah, here we go. Right there. I don't know how well it comes through the trees, but we are starting more of an ascent up out of the trees here and into an open area. We might have to pick our way toward it a little bit. Yeah, these rocks are a little slick, so I don't want to be too hasty moving across them. We went up to Shining Rock, kinda. Scrub is taller than we were. Occupied campsites, so we are in the middle of the woods, making do. It's almost 9 o'clock now, and even though it's mid-July, it's dark. So I think we're just gonna finish setting up, eat, and call it a night. So probably see you guys in the morning. All right, well, good morning. It's day 2. We are still in the middle of the woods where we made camp last night. It's on a slope, so you feel yourself sliding into the trees, which at least kept you from sliding down the rest of the mountain. But it's actually not bad given that it was dark when we picked it out. The ground here is squishy in a good way, where it's, you know, even though you're on a sleeping pad, you've got that extra softness. Not too bad. So we're gonna make breakfast, finish packing up, point out the tent setup here, just so you can kind of get a sense of angle. Well, I don't know if you can get a sense of the angle we're on or not, if that comes through. Yesterday, we did not make it to the actual Shining Rock portion, or Shining Rocks, I should say, of the trail. The light was disappearing. We had to get through, I don't know how, a couple of tenths of miles of thick, dense scrub, rhododendron hells and the like, and we were getting drenched. And given how much mileage we've got to do today, well, mileage and elevation, I don't think we're going to go back up there. So given that I'm still in a general area that's got those quartzite rocks that are, it's called Shining Rock, but it's really Shining Rocks. It's not a single stone or boulder or whatever. It's the entirety of all of those rocks that are, styled something like what you see around here. And I might have mentioned it before, but they get their name from the effect of almost glowing when the light hits them in just the right way. Being at a higher elevation for the Cherokee, those were both elements that potentially made a site of a deep spiritual significance. Shining Rock was likely a place where they would have vision quests, where they would go with the goal to have a vision quest up there. Shining Rock is also supposed to be the home of the Yunwi Tsunzi, and I probably butchered the pronunciation of that. But roughly, that's little people. They were kind, shy folk who usually stayed hidden, didn't make it a habit to be seen, but if someone was in dire need, or if someone was in particularly deep communion with the land, then they might make themselves known. Anyway, we'll have to come back some other time and when there's more daylight and get up to the actual Shining Rocks again and check it out. Generally speaking, this is a really cool place. All of these quartzite boulders, all of this forest growth that's more like Canada than the Carolinas, you could say, given the spruce fir elements that are intermingled with the rhododendrons and the other species. Yeah, it's a really nice environment up here. Anyway, we're gonna continue on with day 2. So we're back at the junction between Old Butt Knob Trail and Art Loeb. So we're going to be on the Art Loeb Trail for a few miles. Just a relative fraction of its overall length. It's a 30.1 mile trail. Gets its name from a guy named Art Loeb, which you would have never guessed, I'm sure, but he was a local hiking legend in the region, and he did a lot of maintaining and hiking these trails in the Pisgah National Forest, and hence this one that bears his name. We've come out into a bald on the Art Loeb Trail here. A little bit of a breeze, feels nice. We apparently missed the turnoff that would have taken us over Grassy Cove Knob, which sits at about 6,050 feet. And we were too far down the Art Loeb by the time we realized it to want to turn around and go back. Weather is great right now, but this region is known for not staying great. Can be pretty fickle, so on the off chance that would be in trouble in the later afternoon, it's just smarter to keep going instead of going back, although I will turn around, give you a view of these ridges behind me. So like I said, we're still on the Art Loeb, and we'll take that over Tennent Mountain, and then we'll hit Black Balsam Knob a little after that. I really appreciate being able to hike through scenery like this, you know, just get a chance to look out over the valleys and cross them to the ridges beyond. It's a different kind of experience, I guess, than hiking through woods. And I appreciate woods, for sure. One of the other things about a lot of the trails around here is that they are not blazed. If you come to an intersection, it may have a sign indicating, which direction takes you to which trail. But as far as staying on the trail, I mean, they're fairly easy to follow. They're pretty well-worn ruts in a lot of places here. But there aren't any like orange or blue or white blazes or what have you. We're just about out of what's technically the Shining Rock Wilderness and back into Pisgah National Forest. We're not the only two out here today. We've seen quite a few hikers and backpackers, especially at that junction between Ivestor Gap and Art Loeb. where you either enter or exit the Shining Rock Wilderness. And like like one of the people we passed said, you know, it's a beautiful day for it so far. And yeah, hopefully that so far persists. There are some spots with some thickening clouds that hopefully they will just either burn off or blow away, but we'll find out. We are not quite to Tennent Mountain. We'll be there very soon, but we do have this little clearing, some pretty interesting rocks, and you can probably see from the cloud structure that things are looking a little dicey. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but out beyond the clouds you can see sun. So as Chip was telling me, this region is just kind of perfectly or imperfectly, depending on your perspective, suited to collect all the ingredients necessary for thunderstorms and, well, thunderstorms. Still though, even though it looks like a looming storm, it is still beautiful up here. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. I think right up there is that Tennent, Chip, up there? Yeah. We are at the top of Tennent Mountain. It is just a little over 6,000 feet. Art Loeb Trail goes across the summit. You can see some of that mist is starting to pick up speed now that we're on the other side of Tennent Mountain. So we're dipping down a little bit, and then we'll go back up over Balsam Knob, and hopefully it won't be a downpour by then. We are still a ways from Balsam Knob, but it has started sprinkling. If it stays like that, that's not too bad. But we'll see. I suspect we may just skirt the edge of a downpour, or we may just walk smack into the middle of it. We are on Balsam Knob. It is one of the highest points in Pisgah National Forest. It is also just slightly outside of the Shining Rock Wilderness. It sits at about 6,214 feet. Probably gets its name for the balsams that are on the ridges or on the sides as you work your way up. Like a lot of the balds in this region, it's probably partially from either wind, fire, or even grazing back before the region was designated a wilderness. It's looking good up here right now, but all around us is looking wet, so probably not going to stay up here too terribly long. All right, we're leaving the Art Loeb now. Going to hit the Art Loeb Spur Trail down to the truck. Some of these glasses, they remember them. Anyway, so we got maybe, I don't know, half-ish a mile. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if the Pisgah Inn is open, get some lunch there if it is, then just kind of see what the radar looks like, what the weather might do. It has started raining a little bit more strongly, not strong, but we are just about back to the parking area. And on the off chance that this is the end of things for this outing, we did end up altering our plans. Well, here, take a look at this. Yeah, it's coming down hard, and bands of stuff like this we're going to be coming right over where we would have been hiking. We'll come back some other time and check out the rest of that route. that wraps it up for us for today and tomorrow. But I do appreciate you hanging out with us while it was dry, and I look forward to seeing you next time out.